Today we'll go through the application management function, okay, of the service operation function. Okay, so what is application management function? Well, according to the information technology infrastructure library, application management is a function that is responsible for managing the applications throughout their life cycle. Okay, so a function is basically a group of people or some resources which carries out the process activities, and applications are the focus of application management service. And lastly, application lifecycle also means the time from idea to its to it is operational, that is the improvement stage. Okay, so now we'll look at the objectives of the application management function. So we have these five basic objectives. Okay, so see, one of the important goals of application management function is to help decide on whether to make an application or to buy an application. Okay, so it means that the application management has to consider the resources available, the business needs and market offerings, and advise about new in-house purchase or development. So usually application management makes a suggestion, and some uh, you know governance role will also make that decision. Okay, and another critical sorry another important role is to work together with the developers. So application management is not application development. Okay, it is not application development, it is managing the applications. However, the closer they work together, the better are the results. So here we have five objectives, starting with the resource management. So here resource management includes both internal as well as external resources, and also the activities like selection, communication, management, coordination, etc. Okay, then we have the corporate standards. So suppose instances like, are we going to develop a separate application or server based application, or what kind of user interface application will it have? Okay, for example, web based user interface, right? So what kind of databases are we using? So a contemporary firm has to have the governance in many areas, and applications are just one of them. Next we have training and documentation. So for both for both the people involved in the application management as well as end users. Okay, this is for that training and documentation. Improvement. So as the ITIL highlights many times, improvement is a continuous process and it works on all the interfaces throughout the service lifecycle. So it is the same with the application management also. Okay, people involved here needs to have an in-depth knowledge about the application, and they are an excellent source for improvement initiatives. Lastly, we have the operation support. So the technical management function and the IT operation functions are involved in day-to-day activities and also in um, incident and problem management personnel. But application management supports them in their task. Okay, because the application management has expert knowledge in the area of the application used. Please go through all the MCQs, okay, all the MCQs in the SLM. Next we have IT operation management function. So here we'll look at how the IT operation management functions, the controls and monitors on day-to-day business. Okay, so IT operation management is a functional team of people which is responsible for daily management and maintenance of an organization's IT infrastructure in order to ensure delivery of the agreed level of IT services to the business. Okay, So IT operations perform a defined sequence of some day-to-day activities in order to keep the IT going. IT operation management is divided into two sub-functions, with each performing a slightly different set of activities. Okay, so they are the IT operation controls and the facilities management. Okay, these two. So IT operation control, what it does, it is a control function and central monitoring which carries out operations task. And talking about the facilities management, they manage the physical IT infrastructure, that is the data servers, server rooms, and disaster recovery sites. It also take care of all the accompanying functions like humidity control, cooling, and power, etc. So talking about the IT operations control, okay, so they carry out some operation tasks like print management, console management, job scheduling, okay, maintenance activities, and backup restore. So let's look at them one by one. So talking about the print management, so previously, okay, operation management took care of the centralized printing output, but nowadays with the distributed printing facilities that we have, the responsibility of print management has been shifted to various print management solution maintenance. Okay, next we have the console management, so monitoring the IT infrastructure through various IT control tools and real-time reporting engines. Okay. Next, we have the job scheduling. Um, most IT organizations still have to execute the batch jobs and various scripts which have to be activated manually at the scheduled times. Okay, a good example would be the middleware jobs where, which transfers data between smaller scale ERP and mainframe applications or the human resource applications. Next, we have the maintenance activities. So operations perform the uh, infrastructure maintenance activities as requested by the remaining two ITIL functions, the technical and the application management. Operations are usually organized to work in shifts so that it can perform uh, assigned after our tasks. Lastly, we have the backup store. So backup activities are somewhat, you know, easier to perform, but however, they have a still lot of work around backup, like restarting jobs, control, and media exchange. So it is an important task of the operations. Talking about the facilities management, as given already, it manages the physical IT infrastructure like the data servers, server rooms, disaster recovery sites. So it also takes care of the accompanying functions like humidity controls, like coding, powering, etc. Also, it is necessary for the facilities management to be in charge of large transitions like IT infrastructure consolidations, work on the power supply, and various construction projects concerning the facilities. Okay. So you see, IT operation management is a function and it leaves a lot of options open to an IT organization. Okay. So in terms of, in small size IT organizations, uh, some experienced service desk analysts can perform the operation task during their regular shift, thus escalating the most complex task to the on-call engineers or tech account managers. In case of mid-sized IT organizations, it can be a virtual team which consists of application management and technical management team members. And it can be a sector or a department in large organization also. Let's come to the objectives. Okay, the biggest problem of operations is that it has to resolve a few objectives like diagnosis and resolution of occurred failures. Then you have continual improvement and achieving stability. So talking about diagnosis and resolution of occurred failures, here the operations have to cooperate tightly with the service desk and the incident management. continual improvement. So to improve the IT infrastructure and the services it provides. So it implies the changes and the conflicts with the previous one. And lastly, achieving stability is like operations to try to maintain the status and to minimize the changes as the primary source of service disruptions. Okay, so here we come to an end of this chapter. So let's see what we have in the next chapter. So basically, the second chapter of module 4. Here we'll go through some service operations processes. Then we have the incident management process. We have the request fulfillment process, access management process, problem management process. So here we'll go through 6 different topics. Okay. So we'll start with one topic today. We'll start with the event management process today.
Okay, ma'am.
So um, so here you get an idea about the service transition phase, okay, in the ITIL service life cycle. So after the end of this chapter, you'll be able to, you know, you'll be able to learn all these things like major service operation processes and their relevance, event management process, the role of active and passive monitoring tools, comparing exception, warning, and information in event management, how an unscheduled incident or event can affect quality of IT service, incident management process, their time scales and the incident models, request fulfillment process, need for request models, access management process, and advantages of the identity and access management system, then distinguishing between rights, service groups, and directory service and access management, and lastly, problem management and activities needed for diagnosing, analyzing the causes of incidents. Okay. So we start with the major service operation processes and their relevance. So what is actually a service operation? So as you know, service operation includes, as can be seen in the diagram, it includes the day-to-day activities, processes, and the infrastructure accountable for delivering value to the business by means of technology. So the 5 different types of service operation processes are the event management, incident management, request fulfillment process, access management, and problem management. So these are the 5 different processes that we'll go through in this second chapter of module 4. Okay, so we'll start with event management. Today we'll just cover event management. Okay, so see, why do we need to have event management? So as given here, let us first understand what an event is. Okay, so an event refers to any detectable occurrence with which manages or delivers the IT infrastructure. An event detects any impact that may have occurred due to deviation from the expected or normal operation. Okay, so basically they are the notifications by the IT services asking the concerns of the users, and proper monitoring and controlling system relies on 2 types of tools: active monitoring tools and passive monitoring tools. So uh, you know In case of active monitoring tools, okay, so it basically contains the essential configuration items to determine the event status and the availability. And any alert will be generated, any alert that is generated should be given to the concerned team or tool for immediate action. Okay. And passive monitoring tools, it is responsible basically for detecting and correlating the communications or signals produced by the confirmation items. Next, we talk about the objectives of event management. So here we have few objectives, like it provides a basis for comparison of actual performance and behavioral expectation to desired standards and SLAs, directs operational monitoring and control, serves as an entry point for service operation activities, directs appropriate action for events, that is, it helps in detection, interpretation, and initiation of activities. It informs about operational faults, warnings, and exception, if any, to help automation. It helps in continual service assurance, improvement, and reporting. Next, we have the scope. So the applications of the event management can be made to various aspects of service management that need to be automated and controlled. Okay, and this includes conditions of the environment such as smoke, fire, etc., security purposes such as the detection of an intrusion, configuration items to have the CIs in a constant state. The status of few CIs should uh, frequently change, monitoring the software license usage to make sure the licenses are optimally utilized, and day-to-day normal activities. Next, we have the values that event management provides to an organization are: it helps to detect the incident at the early stage and direct this issue to the respective department for action. With the help of automation, the downtime is reduced. It provides efficient and effective service management, better resource utilization, and improves the competitive advantage. And talking about the activities of event management, we have um, many activities, starting with the event notification. Okay, so the information can be communicated by the CIs in two ways. One is the polling. So polling is, here the management tool interrogates the device and when the conditions are met. Next, we have event occurs. So not all the events are registered or detected. So it is important to know what type of event should be detected. Okay. Next, we have significance of events. So the three major categories of the significance of events are informational, warning, and exception. So informational, so here, events do not require action and they are stored in some service log files or the system for some specified period. Next, we have warning. So whenever a device or a service is approaching a threshold, a warning is generated immediately. Exception, so it can be due to total failure, impaired functionality, or degraded performance. So it signifies a service or device that is performing abnormally and the and that a service level agreement is breached here. Next, we have event detection. So after generation of event notifications, the events are either detected by an agent on the system or the management tool interprets the event. Next, we have the event correlation. So an event triggers action depending on the stage of event. So hence the meaning of the event is determined here. Next, we have triggers. Okay, so there are different types of triggers. So what is a trigger? Actually, it is basically a response mechanism to an event. Okay, that is called a trigger, and we have three different types of triggers: incident trigger, change trigger, and database trigger. So incident trigger, it is that trigger that creates a record in the incident management system. Then change trigger is it creates a request for the change, and database trigger restricts user access to a particular field or record. Okay, next we'll continue in the next class, huh? Sanbanfira.